Other interesting political news, the United States Supreme Court rules parents are allowed to opt their kids out of controversial things that go against their morals, such as LGBTQ programs. This is brought to us thanks to Lives at TikTok, in which she says, quote, Secretary of Education Mahon on the huge Mahon versus Taylor ruling, or Mahmoud versus Taylor ruling.
The Supreme Court ruling in Mahmoud versus Taylor is not only a win for religious liberty, but parental rights. Parents have the right to know what their children are learning at school and to exercise their First Amendment freedom of religion to opt out of divisive and ideological lessons that go against their family's values and beliefs. The court rightfully held that schools cannot shut parents out or disregard their religious obligations to their children. We are proud to see families, not bureaucrats, reclaiming their role in raising their children according to their sincerely held religious beliefs.
Which is probably the best thing from the Department of Education in decades, though, yes, that bar is comically low. And this is great news. Another scary thing is when teachers' unions and teachers want to obfuscate the truth and hide what they're teaching your kids. And you have laws like California where they actually pass a law saying, oh yeah, teachers are allowed to hide information about your kids when it comes to things like what classes they're taking or transitioning topics or grooming them by encouraging them to use their pronouns and stuff like that. So it's a rare good win for parental rights, and I would argue much more in line with the Founding Fathers had in mind. I also think, we should just get rid of the Department of Education altogether and relegate that to local freedom, having, but best bets are usually homeschooling. Now, this thing did not go as viral as I thought it would. Got about 44,000 views. Now, Paul Zupa came in saying, quote, Macron is great. She's strongly leading our children's education back towards sanity, getting 16 likes. One of the best, most brilliant men of our time, Thomas Sowell, is a quote from The Vault, quoting him, saying, quote, the fact that crime and poverty are correlated is automatically taken to mean that poverty causes crime, not similar attitudes or behavioral patterns may contribute to both poverty and crime, getting 3 likes. Joey, FAFO, says, quote, no more gay flags in classrooms and no more grooming. Huge win, getting 16 likes. Which, kind of creepy when there's more pride flags in classrooms than American flags, especially in places like California. The Vault also has a picture of, or AI, of course, Abraham Lincoln pointing to a picture saying, quote, the shadow government is treason, getting 5 likes. Close the Dip says, quote, gay teachers when being told they have to give the kids back to the parents, getting 1 like. Moderate to Severe says, quote, it's a beautiful thing, so grateful for this, getting 2 likes. Maggot and Cheese simply says, leave our kids the F alone. Janet says, quote, Education Secretary Mahone nails it. The Mahmoud versus Taylor ruling is a big win for parents, putting families back in charge of their kids' upbringing, not bureaucrats. Religious freedoms and parental rights get a major boost. And 4 likes. Yep. Uhish Bahari says, quote, parents back in the driver's seat exactly where they belong, getting 2 likes, which, yep. Probably one of the best silver linings when it comes to the pandemic was the online learning allowed parents to see into the classrooms and see the horrifying things that they're teaching kids these days. Sagis Alternia says, quote, the ruling is a triumph for parental sovereignty, shattering the left's grip on the indoctrination of kids and woke ideology. Families, not faceless bureaucrats, should shape the minds of youth. Trump's unwavering support for religious liberty laid the groundwork for this victory, unlike Biden's push for radical curricula. This decision exposes the left's hypocrisy. They champion diversity, but silence devout parents. Schools must respect faith-based opt-outs, not force-feed divisiveness narratives. The conservative fight for education freedom is winning, proving our values resonate. Let's keep dismantling the progressive stranglehold. And it says, join the battle for the truth and follow, who is this? Sagiza Eterna, spelled Saggezza and Eterna. They describe themselves saying, quote, the world is in peril as a result of information warfare against Western civilization. They got 57,000 followers. I'll give them a follow. MegaFan1776 simply says this is a big win for parental rights, getting 4 likes. Agreed. We also have Sean Parry having a meme of the bathroom guy, or I forget what we call the logo of the bathroom guy. He's kicking another one, but the other one's rainbow color. It says, Pride Month, F off, no one cares. Getting 1 like. Which, yeah, it was fascinating to see the juxtaposition of Pride Month in 2024 juxtaposition to 2025. LinkedIn alone, the number of flags and companies changing their logos dropped by over 90%. It was astronomical, the difference. There's some great news finally. And yeah, let me know. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, I mean, I'm always a big advocate of homeschooling. I think you should never trust the state of the government to, teach your kids morals, values, to have them for so many hours of the day. However, I also know a lot of folks, especially because of the inflation that was caused by Democrats and Republicans, many people are forced to have dual parents working just to make ends meet. So they have to use public schools almost as basically glorified babysitting instance for the child, as well as to teach them some things. So it's one of those things where I understand, you have to go to school, but I still highly recommend homeschooling, or even just at a local community school where you have more of a direct impact on what they're learning. You actually see the curriculum. This is a rare but great win for parental rights. Now, the real question is, how will leftist states and how will leftist teachers continue to try to subvert this, or basically continue to break the law? Well, not break the law and push things about kids. I can't but think they're not going to go out silently. I mean, you have when Trump passed the law about the gay pride flag on federal buildings, you had some states actually redefining the gay flag, saying it's a part of who they are and trying to reclassify it. So they're not going to take this lightly, so to say. It'll be interesting to see how they respond. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in, especially on 4th of July. And again, I want to say thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. I was going to say, any feedback is always greatly appreciated. Leave a comment, and it might take me a little while, but I always take the time to respond. Don't forget to take the time to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And as always, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.